Signs that someone is still madly in love with you and constantly thinking about you. Number 1. In the case of a person who is still madly in love with you, one of the things they do is communicate with you on a regular basis. The majority of the time, love is shown through proximity, words, and actions. As much as it is possible to love someone secretly, you will never be able to keep your reaction to them or how you feel hidden forever. It will eventually manifest itself in the way you interact with that person. A person who is thinking about you is most likely projecting their ideas into actions, and they are generally motivated to make the phantasm of their fantasies a reality. The fact that someone has called you indicates that they still care. They still want to stay in contact with you and are interested in what is going on in your life. If this is the case, they may be hoping for another opportunity to sort things right with you. In fact, that's the whole point of the constant calls and texts. It's their way of informing you that you are still very much on their minds and they would likely like for you to get back together. The quickest way to fall out of love or have a clean break is to lose touch with each other, to cut off all communication and to go their separate ways. It permits the heart to become acclimated to the absence of that somebody. As a result, healing may take place since it is out of sight and out of mind, as the phrase goes. So if that individual is still calling or messaging you, it is a strong indication that they are still much in love with you, and their phone calls are simply a means for them to demonstrate they want to be with you. If it is someone you have feelings for, you can still work things out with them and are most likely still in love with them as a result. It's a positive indicator that you should get back together and start over from the beginning. The need to be cautious and take a stance by restricting calls is necessary if you are not certain that it is not a ruse to lure you back into a bad relationship. A nice check-in or a courteous call might be made as part of the procedures and nothing further that could cause confusion. The fact that it is continuous and persistent suggests that something else must be going on, even if the individual does not explicitly state that they are still thinking about you, or that they are unable to move on from their feelings for you. You should be aware that this is the case. Otherwise, why can't they just move on and concentrate on other things or people, which is something that comes naturally to them? When we fall in love with someone, our natural inclinations are focused toward wanting to be with that person in whatever capacity we are able to do so. If physical proximity cannot be avoided, thank God for technology, since you can always call them and speak with them, even if it is simply to hear their voice and confirm that they are in fact all right. If you wake up to their phone calls in the morning, receive texts throughout the day, and still have them on the phone at night, you may have a relationship problem, and that is a clear indication that the other person is not over you. It is now up to you to make the decisions and determine what to do with the attention that has been drawn to you. Number 2. They are concerned about your well-being. It's one thing to make phone calls and keep the lines of communication open. The entire topic of the talk, on the other hand, is something else completely. It is normal for us to be concerned about the people we care about. There is no way we would like for children to experience being harmed or having something horrible happen to them, regardless of how enraged or outraged we are. When people separate because they no longer care about their partners, a breakup might potentially result in hurt and anguish, and most of the time both parties opt to go their separate ways when this occurs. But when healing has occurred, it becomes easier to relate to and check on the well-being of the individual after a period of time. The majority of the time, however, this is not the case immediately following the breakup. The breakup most likely occurred as a result of one or both of the partners' disinterest in caring for the other. And what is the sense of being in a relationship if there is no concern for the other person? This, however, is not always the case. It is possible that judgments were made in a logical manner. The possibility of miscommunications and other events leading to a breakup exists, and one or both parties may still be longing for the other person. It is a possibility. True love may be shown in deed and can also be communicated in words. When you come across someone who is interested in knowing how you are doing, if you're doing well or what's going on in your life, it demonstrates that they are concerned. If you get ill or want their assistance, they will be on the scene as soon as possible and without delay. It is likely that they would be worried about your daily routine. They would be interested in your professional and personal life, as well as your health, finances, emotions, and even your family. When you're feeling bad, they'll find a method to make you feel better. In addition, every now and again, they may give you presents, place an order for lunch for you, or simply check in on you at random. Number 3. They are not easily forgotten. Yet another indicator that a person is still madly in love with you and hasn't stopped thinking about you is that they are always recalling significant events or occasions in your life. Even if you have been away for a long period of time, they are still aware of your preferences and dislikes. They are well aware of what makes you tick and what might make you laugh. They are very aware of everything down to the smallest detail and will not forget it. Most of the time, they utilize all of these tactics to re-enter your life as a method of demonstrating to you that despite your previous misinterpretation, they are really familiar with you and that you are better off being with them than anyone else. On your birthday, imagine receiving something you've been wanting for a long time, together with the most romantic letter you've ever received. Alternatively, you may come across the individual during an event, and they have a perfect understanding of what to order and what to do to make you feel extra special. If they can still remember the names of your family members, know precisely what you want and how you want it, they can recall your favorite color, cuisine, movies, and other things as well as your favorite drink. It's possible that they have an extremely excellent memory, in which case, however, it's possible that they're still completely smitten with you. Most likely, they would utilize these items to entice you back to their side of the table. They cause you to relive memories with them, and they transport you back to a time when you were in love and everything was going swimmingly for you. Simply put, they want to impress upon you the importance of your presence in their lives, and the fact that they will not quickly relinquish the information they have gathered. The fact that someone doesn't forget stuff about you is a good indication that they are still thinking about you. As a result, those pieces of knowledge are relevant to them. Fourth, they go out of their way to make things easier for you. Making sacrifices is not something that will be done for you by anybody else. People are willing to lend a hand as long as it is convenient for them and does not need them to spend any money. It does not imply that they are in love with you. In the sacrifices a person is willing to make for your sake, and the lengths to which they are willing to go in order to make you happy and comfortable, the genuine test of love may be observed. Particularly after a breakup or when you and your spouse have both decided to stop the relationship. There is a strong likelihood that your partner may want nothing to do with you. If there is anything at all, it will be strictly done only out of respect to the other person, or in the event that you are in desperate need. However, there is a limit to how far they will go in order to assist you, no matter how good or humanitarian you are. For example, if you're in critical condition and they happen to be on the scene at the time, they may transport you to the hospital and attempt to contact a friend or member of your family to come and remain with you and ensure that you're okay. However, they would not take time out of their busy schedules to come sit by your bedside and make sure you are not alone. After all, you have already spoken your goodbyes and there is no reason to rekindle old sentiments. If on the other hand they are still madly in love with you, they will not object to making their own sacrifices in order to help you. When someone loves you, they will behave in this manner. They just want to ensure that you are comfortable and happy, even if it means putting themselves in uncomfortable situations themselves. Especially in this day and age, no one is willing to give up anything for anyone, even when they are in a relationship. In essence, if someone is willing to sacrifice so much for your benefit and goes out of their way to make you happy, it is a solid indicator that they care about you. They are still interested in a relationship with you. Number 5. Following a divorce or separation. In order to get over the agony and hurt of their prior relationship, the majority of people either choose to stay alone or embark into rebound romances. Usually, the best course of action is to allow one's heart to heal for a period of time before moving on and opening one's heart to love again. But if you find that person unwilling to move on, and they make it a point to inform you every time they have a chat with you, you may want to consider moving on yourself. It indicates that they have not been able to move on from you and continue their lives. That indicates that they are still thinking about you and hoping that something will happen between the two of you in the future. It is likely that they will finally express their feelings to you.